Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about exercise if you live in a cool climate or you otherwise can't get outside or don't go to the gym for whatever reason. So, I live in the northeastern United States. In my particular area, it only gets down to like negative single digits Fahrenheit. I know a lot of people who live in sort of more northern states gets a lot colder than that, like even down as to like negative 20 degrees, negative 40 degrees. The summers here are lovely and typically gets into the 80s and 90s. I think once in the last couple of years it got up to 100 degrees. So getting into the fitness part of it, quite a few years ago, I got a gym membership. There was a special deal where I would try out a personal trainer for one session, which I did, and I pushed myself so far, I had a blood sugar spike and almost passed out. So I did have a breakfast, but there wasn't enough sugar and protein to fuel my body for the intense workout after not being physically active for so long. I'm not diabetic. I just didn't eat right before the workout. Since then, that has happened a couple of times, a handful of times. And all I normally need to do to come back around is eat a piece of fruit. That's it. Just get a little sugar in me, and I'm fine. To give you an idea of what this type of episode is like, um, it's where your heart rate gets too high, your body reacts by making you calm down, settle down. So like it makes you feel faint. Your skin gets cold and clammy. Your heart rate and blood pressure drop until it gets dangerously low. And you could go into a coma or worse if you let it get to that point. Luckily, each time this has happened, I never fainted at all because I quickly got sugar into my system so I could bounce back quickly. Um, so the moral of that story is just to eat a good breakfast, especially if you're going to work out. Um, so being unmotivated, especially by that particular experience, I never went to the gym. I wasted a lot of money until I changed banks. Now, the gym I went to required me to have automatic payments set up and to make one yearly lump sum payment, even though they advertised a low monthly rate. I've heard since then that a lot of gyms do that, which is really interesting because there are a lot of other services that it's just normal to be able to cancel at any time. Um, so with this particular gym, when I changed banks, of course the automatic payments stopped, and I started racking up late payments at the gym until it mounted to like a couple $100s. It happened pretty quickly. I tried to cancel, but they said I had to pay off the balance, and only then it was only a certain window within which I could cancel. It was a whole debacle that cost me hundreds of dollars because of the fine print in the contract they didn't fully disclose at the beginning. I hear a lot of people are turned off from gyms for that reason. Um, so, fast forward a little bit. In 2018, I went to the YMCA, and that experience was a lot better. I was a lot better prepared for any fine print like that. I took classes like Zumba. Actually, Zumba was pretty consistent. I took that twice a week. I took a couple of classes one time, but with my schedule, I wasn't able to stay too consistent with the other classes. But those classes were great. There was hit training, cardio, kickboxing, Wilkes Bar, Pilates, yoga. I only did each of those one or two times to try them out. I imagine it wouldn't be too hard to get into more of a routine. Um, but then I did have another blood sugar drop when I was going to the Y. Um, Again, I didn't have a good enough breakfast, so I can't stress that enough. Don't just eat cereal because that's not going to do it for you. Just carbs and the fat that's in the milk or whatever, even though I think it was skim or 1%. Um, Eat some protein, have something with sugar in it, like natural sugars like fruit. Um, Even if I had an egg and some fruit, it would have been fine. But that's not the reason I stopped going to the Y. I knew I wanted to get outside and exercise once the weather got warmer. So I would go to the nature trail. And that is something that really kept me motivated and wanting to do the exercises, doing something that I liked. And I think that's the most important thing to do if you want to get into a routine of working out. Do something that makes you happy, that that you can find yourself doing and get enjoyment out of it. So even if it's something like going to the nature trail or rock climbing or doing a sport, um, tennis or volleyball or swimming or whatever you like doing, that's really going to be key to getting you into routine. Our brains are hardwired into path of least resistance. So if sitting on your couch and eating potato chips is going to help you survive and get energy from that, your body will, your brain will think of that as more incentive to use that to survive, even though it's terrible for your body and it won't do you any good in the long run. Um, and things that are hard, like exercise, especially if it's something that has no enjoyment in it, your brain is wired to avoid those things because it sees it as a negative. So if there's any enjoyment you can get into it and the routine, it gets you over that hump of I don't feel like doing it, or I just am procrastinating or putting it off or hesitating. For me, it wasn't fear or dislike or procrastination or anything like that. It was just I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to go out and exercise until I pushed myself to do that. And once I started going in a routine and getting that positive reinforcement of this is making my body feel good and this is making me feel like I have more energy and enjoying it more, it was a lot easier. So we're out here at a nature preserve right near my apartment, down the street from my apartment, and it's really nice here most of the year. I mean, the whole year it pretty much is nice. I mean, it's really pretty cold right now, but it's still just really nice to get out. I normally wouldn't get out on a day like today because it's so cold, but probably, I don't know, once it gets like above 30, I probably would normally come out here. But that's one of the challenges if you don't really like going to a gym or you don't like working out inside. It's nice to go running and it's nice to walk and everything, but even if it's above 30, I like to try to get some walk in or something. But when it gets above 40, 45, I like to run a little bit. So yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole preserve. In the summer, this whole area, it's not really like a lake or pond or anything. It's sort of like swampland. And in the summer, there are so many lily pads that come up, and the flowers come up, the lotuses come up, and I think I'll probably do another video in the summer, but this is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. It was around March last year when I started walking and jogging more at the nature trail. I stopped taking the heartburn medication that elevated my blood pressure and I lost 20 pounds. This year I intend to take that a step further and introduce more body weight training. I was considering adding something about diet in this video, but I'll save that for my next video. I had forgotten how much there was to my fitness story. So next time I do a video like this, it'll be food related. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. See you next time.